Welcome to the Carl Jackson Show. This is your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. Guys, listen, it's okay to be offended by the Kamala Harris campaign. As a matter of fact, you should be offended by the Kamala Harris campaign. The debate is tomorrow, possibly the only debate. Here's what I suspect. I believe that tomorrow's debate between Trump and between Kamala Harris will be the only debate that occurs. And here's the reason why I say that. I think if Kamala Harris technically wins, which I think that's going to be difficult for her to do, then there's no way she would debate Trump again. The media sycophants would all kiss her butt and make her, the greatest thing since sliced bread again, or try to make her the greatest thing since sliced bread. We'll talk about that because that's starting to cave. All right, big time. I think I'll actually give you some polls from Political. And honestly, it is, they are trying to make, I don't wine out of like dirty bath water. So anyway, but we'll go through those polls. But I do believe this will be Kamala Harris's only debate. If she gets destroyed by President Trump in the debate, which is more likely than not. However, I have to be careful because you never know. All she needs is some great sound bites. That's all she's going to be going for tomorrow. We'll talk about that as well. And who knows what it might do for those people that are in the middle. I can't believe that there are people that are in the middle when it comes to this campaign. But the issue is, it isn't just about policy. Unfortunately, it's about emotion. Unfortunately, it's about likability and favorability. I know what you're saying, Carl. I don't give a crap about that stuff. The world is on fire. America is on fire. I get it. I feel the same way. But unfortunately, there are some voters out there that are low info voters. Nice people, I'm sure, many of them. But that don't really pay attention to politics. I don't mean to call them stupid. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just not their thing until it's time to vote. And unfortunately, if you're one of those people that waits this long to become informed, then more than likely you're not really informed. But if Kamala Harris technically wins, there's no way she'll debate again. If she loses, there's no way she'll debate again, because she could say that she won, or she would have gotten beaten down so bad she's not gonna subject herself to the pain anymore. By the way, today's show is brought to you in part by MyPillow.com. You've asked, and MyPillow listen. They're finally bringing you the most requested offer ever. Right now, you can get the queen size premium MyPillow for just $19.98. MyPillow is made with a patented adjustable feel. It adjusts to your exact individual needs regardless of your sleep position. It helps keep your neck aligned and holds its shape all night long, so you get the best sleep of your life. I think it's important to read this now, because I'm hoping after tomorrow night, we'll be able to rest easy. I know that isn't necessary. I shouldn't even say that. But we'll be able to rest easier if Trump kicks some booty at the debate. All right. But that's not all. Let me get back to the ad. You can get their 6-piece kitchen or bath towel sets for just $25. The brand new mattress topper for as low as $69.98, and their famous My Pillow bed sheets for as low as $25, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com or give them a call at 800-858-0263. You can use promo code Carl to get huge discounts on all MyPillow products, including the premium queen size MyPillow for just $19.98. That's the lowest price ever. Don't delay. Order today. Use promo code Carl for checkout. All right, so guys, here's what I want to go over. I'm going to go over a buttload of a material when it comes to, I'll go through it as quickly as I can when it comes to Kamala Harris. Byron York at the Washington Examiner had a fantastic piece today titled, "Remember when Democrats and everybody else thought Kamala Harris was a bad vice president?" So we'll go over some of the things that the New York Times and the major left-wing rags were saying about Kamala Harris a year ago and several months ago, as recently as several months ago. And now she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I think it's important for us to remember that. And if you would, please share this podcast with your friends, with your neighbors, with your family members. I would appreciate that. Por favor. I'm on all things social media at The Carl Jackson Show. You can follow me on, also, you can subscribe to the podcast, The Carl Jackson Show. And I've been forgetting, guys, I got some shirts out there. You see that? Skin ain't sin. All right. Man looks at the outward appearance, or I'm sorry. Yeah, man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. Skin ain't sin. That's the message behind that. So you can order that Carl Jackson merch at itemorder.com. Is that right? Yeah. Carl Jackson merch at itemorder.com. More t-shirts there for you as well for you to check out, but Skin Ain't Sin is one of them. Love guns, hate tyranny. I had a non-binary t-shirt made just before that food dropped out, so that kind of upsets me. But there's others. There's also the Real Rainbow T-shirt, so check that out as well. All right, so we'll get to this article with Byron York. I want to get to some polling with Politico. I'll re-emphasize the debate rules. I mentioned those in an earlier podcast, but in case you've missed them, it's going to be important to know. And I want you to understand what Kamala Harris is going to be up to. I'm going to play this, or not play this, I'm sorry. But I have this political story. This political poll or polling that I would like to share with you so that you understand what's going on. And I'm going to show you the spin within those polls from Politico. But before I do all of that, I do want to go to some video. So Gabe, if your finger is on the trigger. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be doing a short podcast on, I know this is going to be confrontational, but you can look forward to that at some point this week. Things have just been really crazy on a personal level. Just to be open and transparent with you guys this month with family things, my dad passing and more, frankly. So it's been kind of a tough month, but we'll get through it. And I'm behind on some of the stories. I'm just being honest with you. But I've been thinking about this, the murderer in Georgia, and I want to talk about that because I'm not as convinced as many people are that his dad should be going to prison. At first, I was like, throw him away, lock away the key. Very stupid. And I think he did a very stupid thing. But I do want to make a counter argument for it because I think that the audience, I think you guys deserve to hear a counter argument. Now, I could be wrong. I am going to do more reading. I'm looking for a few key details in the investigation, or at least the reporting, that maybe I've missed. And if I've missed those details, I'll change my argument. But my argument will be that I don't think the dad should be arrested. I know. I'm sorry. I'm going to freak a lot of people out for saying that. But I think there's a macro issue at stake that we have to be very concerned of. And I've even heard 2A people say, no, I know what other 2A people are thinking. No, you don't. Anyway, so I will address that. But before we do, again, I want to go to some of our video clips for today, if I can find them. So I'm going to go right to the cut sheet. I want to play some things for you that broke in the news today, or at least are relevant today. First, let's do this. So let's go to, you guys hear about that lady eating that cat. I think that was Gabe's ex. I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll talk about this. But welcome to Kamala Harris's America. I want to play this video clip first. So Haitians are in the park grabbing ducks, cutting the heads off, and eating them. This is apparently in Springfield, Illinois, I believe. Listen, I've eaten a duck. Gabe, have you ever eaten a duck? Okay. Yeah, you see, if you haven't eaten a duck, you're not a real man. You should play that clip. What are you gay? All right, so anyway, so Haitians are in the park and they're grabbing ducks and they're cutting off their heads. And listen,
Why are you gay?
I'm not knocking the Haitians whatsoever, but this is kind of a crazy story. And I think it speaks to assimilation. So let's watch it. This is video clip number 12. Por favor, Gabe.
I think it's like kind of odd that like a guy like me has to come out from doing what I do on a daily basis to have fun, because I see what's going on in these streets, and I see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits, and I'm getting out here every day and I'm broadcasting this, and you guys are just sitting up there in suits or something. Like I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into, they flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, like, y'all can be comfortable with this. Like, I don't know, like, who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to, seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants, because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. Like, y'all get the Highway State Patrol down here every week, and then y'all get like a task force for the Highway State Patrol, and they look for guns and they look for dope and this and that and the fourth. That same people that y'all got riding up and down Limestone doing U-turns, pulling people over for blinkers and pulling people over for like going left to center and like a couple miles over. Like y'all can take them same people, the Highway State Patrol, and you can take them in every single one of their silver Chargers and Dodge Durangos, and y'all can take them to Sunset, and y'all can park them right over there, and y'all can teach people how to drive. Since the Highway State Patrol knows so much about traffic laws and know what to do in traffic, they need to. Y'all pay them. They can go over there and teach these Haitians how to drive because it's getting bro. I'm getting thousands of views on these, and it's going to get bigger and it's only going to get worse. And y'all sitting up there in these chairs, all y'all need to get out here and do something. Y'all making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Y'all need to put on a t-shirt and some Crocs, and then y'all need to come out here in these streets and y'all need to go out here and I'm out here before the police is. Like y'all need to do something, bro. Y'all really got to stand on business. Y'all getting paid all this money just to wear a suit and sit in a chair. I think it's crazy, bro. We got to do something, bro. It's kids out here getting hurt. Like, only reason I even went on here and said something about it is because somebody told me they walking from the school and a Haitian almost ran into them. And who is getting paid? Like, how much money is y'all really getting paid? Like, to bring them over here? Like,
let's pause this video. I'm seeing this video for the first time. I didn't realize the video was that long. But let me share my thoughts of what's going on. All right. People are experiencing this, obviously, particularly in Democrat strongholds where Democrats want to increase their congressional seating. Make no mistake about it. Some of the New York Democrats, Jerry Nadler, I forget the name of the other woman, they gave up the bag. They want more seats in Congress. They want more power. That's their aim. That's why they're bringing in the illegal immigrants. But what the people that actually, the citizens, the American citizens that live in these communities like Springfield, Illinois, are realizing is that these illegal aliens that are coming in to their territories, if you will, and to their communities are taking their resources. They're seeing stuff that's from third world type countries and situations, people that are completely desperate, and they're seeing this probably for the first time. And they're just like, whoa, it's people not having to assimilate. That's what happens when you have a bunch of people that come to the United States that don't give a flip about our laws, that don't give a flip about assimilation. This is what you're seeing. But people are starting to get fed up in Democrat strongholds, and they don't know what to do. Unfortunately, I believe what they'll end up doing is voting for more Democrats that'll say they'll fix the problem, when truthfully, this problem is trickling down from the Biden-Harris administration. Moving along, let's go to video clip number 10. This is Alan Dershowitz. Are you guys familiar with Alan Dershowitz? Harvard professor. I think he's retired now, but he was a professor emeritus for quite some time. Harvard law professor, the professor of Senator Ted Cruz and others that have gone through Congress. But just a wonderful expert in law, but a Democrat and a lifelong Democrat. Bill, friends of the Clintons, all this kind of stuff. When he stood up and he decided to fight for Trump as an attorney during some of his impeachment hearings, I mean, the left just completely turned against him. This is a man in Alan Dershowitz. I disagree with many of his politics, but he's seeing the rise in anti-Semitism that is solely within the Democrat Party, particularly the progressive wing of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is doing little to nothing about it, and he's fed up. He's had enough. He says, "I'm no longer a Democrat." Video clip number 10. Por favor, yeah, bye.
There were no fine people at the debate, at the standing outside of the convention center and screaming, "Hamas will win," screaming, "We are all Hamas," screaming, "There was nothing wrong with October 7th. What's wrong with October 7th? Somebody said. No, there aren't fine people, and they don't make fine points. And so I was disgusted at the Democratic National Convention, absolutely disgusted.
We're speaking with Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Avi Dershowitz. So are you ready to leave the Democratic Party?
Democratic Party. I am no longer a Democrat. I am an independent. I'll decide who to vote for at the last minute based on totality of the circumstances. I want to see how they deal with Iran. I want to see how they deal if Iran attacks the United States. I want to encourage the current administration to support Israel. So I'm not revealing my vote until, maybe November 1st. Great to hear all the information, all the evidence, but I am no longer a member of the Democratic Party.
When did you resign the Democratic Party?
Well, gradually over time, I think a lot of things push me in that direction. Kamala Harris's failure to comply with her constitutional obligation to preside over the Senate and the House joint sessions for Netanyahu pushed me a lot over that. And what Joe Biden said pushed me over that. But I think the thing that really pushed me is how the Democrats conducted their convention. I cannot be associated with a party that features as its speakers AOC, Sharpton, Liz Warren, and Bernie Sanders. That's not my party.
Thank you for watching. If you
That is his party, or that was his party. He's left the party. You can tell he still wants to lean left. I mean, the guy's a liberal. He's a lifelong liberal. Imagine something being a part of your life or associated with your existence here on Earth for virtually your entire life, and then all of a sudden it just blows up in your face. I can go back to the time when I was a kid and I was part of this cult. Then it was Worldwide Church of God. It's no longer a cult now, but I'm sure there's some aspects of it that maybe are some people that spawned off somewhere into the ether. But for the most part, they turned around. The Worldwide Church of God is, and they accepted Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. But up until that point, that was all that we had known as family and many of my friends. And then it was like, oh my goodness, it was like it just changed. It was just a culture shock. It was life changing. I'd imagine because so many Democrats find their God in government and within the party itself, because I do believe that Democrats oftentimes worship the party, the Democrat Party. I believe that's where they find their virtue, where they find their goodness, sadly. I think it's a real shock. It's really hard for them to leave the party. And you can tell, like, if he didn't want to just leave completely outright, he would have said, not only am I leaving the party, but I'm voting for Trump. He's still holding on to hope that Kamala Harris will somehow say, you know what? That's it. I'm supporting Israel. I'm not doing this two-state solution nonsense, which there is no two-state solution. You can't negotiate with people that want to kill you, that want to see you dead, that want to rape your women and children and behead you and set you on fire. And give me a freaking break. That is the dumbest thing ever. And people that argue that are complete and utter morons, at least on that particular issue. It's really a sad day to me. But it is what it is. All right, let me show you this real quick. This is video clip number 7. We're doing Jackson's 5, but I'm adding a little more because there's so much news out there, so many clips. All of this is leading up to the debate that will occur tomorrow evening. I hope that you will check it out. I will be on Salem News Channel for post-debate coverage. You will have pre-debate coverage. Larry Elder is going to be on at 7 doing some coverage. I think Will Cal will be on doing some type of special coverage or special show at 9, maybe going in and out with the debate. I'm not exactly sure how that's working. And then you'll have our main heavy hitters on Salem Radio talking about the debate at some point earlier in the day. So make sure you just check out the Salem, whatever Salem Radio network or station is near you. Or I'm sure you can just go online to your local Salem website and catch it online or what have you. Here's something else that I want to play for you. This is video clip number 7. This is Bernie Sanders on Meet the Press with Kirsten Welker. Here's what he had to say about Kamala Harris basically hiding her Marxist roots. Video clip number 7. Por favor, Gabe.
Described Vice President Kamala Harris as a progressive. She has previously supported Medicare for all. Now she does not. She's previously supported a ban on fracking. Now she does not. These, Senator, are ideas that you have campaigned on. Do you think that she is abandoning her progressive ideals?
No, I don't think she's abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election. My own view is slightly different. I think that in America today, there are a lot of people, rural people, working class people, who no longer believe that the United States Congress and government represents their interests, too dominated by big money interests. So I think that there is something wrong personally when we are the only...
Okay. So that's Bernie Sanders saying, nah, She's just lying to get elected. And he's telling the truth. She's just lying to try and get elected. But the bloom is falling off the rose, and I'll go over some of the evidence that we're seeing in Political trying to spin it with their latest polls that we'll get through in just a second. All right, now here's Kamala Harris. Now, you heard about the Haitians in Springfield, Illinois. You watched the video earlier. This is Kamala Harris talking about how they've extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitians. You know what? Before I go to that, though, I want to talk to you about Priority Gold, because as more and more illegals come in that you're going to have to pay for, the inflation is going to continue to rise, because obviously government is going to continue to spend money. And if she gets in office as the president, guys, I don't think we've seen anything yet as far as inflation. So I'm going to encourage you to talk to my friends at Priority Gold. Economists warn that massive tax hikes could devastate your IRA and your 401k account as the stock market braces for impact. With inflation on the rise and the global uncertainty looming, it's clear why central banks and savvy Americans are turning to gold. In times like this, Proverbs 21:20 reminds us to preserve what we built. Right now, that wisdom points us towards gold. So if you haven't had your eye on gold, it's time to make it a priority. My name is Carl Jackson, and I'm urging you to call my friends at Priority Gold to find out how they can help you diversify your savings with both physical gold and silver. You can call 1-800-405-GOLD or visit prioritygold.com/golden for a free gold info guide. Plus, see if you qualify for free shipping and storage as well. Act now to get your portfolio working for you while the market is golden. All right. So again, call 1-800-405-GOLD to speak with a gold specialist, or visit prioritygold.com/golden to learn more. Again, that's 1-800-405-GOLD. Now, let's go to video clip number 5. This is Kamala Harris. Now, remember, we played you the video earlier of the gentleman in Springfield, Illinois, I believe, speaking to the city commissioners. I don't think they make hundreds of thousands of dollars. I could be wrong. But I don't believe they do. Typically, those are lesser paying jobs, but they do have a lot of power. So he is right in that regard. But here's Kamala Harris talking about how they've extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants. They're illegals. And she says they need support. All right. So here's the borders are Kamala Harris. Let's roll it. Clip number 5.
That is why also, starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000. And then more recently, we extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants for that very reason, that they need support, they need protection.
I don't know when this video occurred. I really don't know. Is this recent? Did this just happen? Because this is an ad. Her campaign is whack. This is the dumbest thing ever. I'm like, borders are you concerned about illegal immigration? Are you concerned about open borders? And I'm playing this as an ad. Thank God her campaign is so incompetent. We'll go over that in just a second. Here's what you get when you continue to let people in that are unassimilated, and perhaps, I don't know, maybe they've run into something on the border like fentanyl or meth, or what was it that you mentioned earlier, Gabe? The crystal, what did they use? Like bath salts. I don't know if you guys, Gabe reminded me of this story that occurred in Miami. I had completely forgotten about it, where this dude was like eating another dude's face. I know it sounds gross and grotesque, because it is. All right. But he was eating a dude's face because he was high on like these bath salts or something like that. And it just makes you wonder about this story. It is kind of weird that Gabe knew about that. I mean, he got to that story right away. Like he knew all the details. That is kind of weird. But video clip number 4, por favor, Gabe.
What did you do?
Look at this.
Why'd you kill the cat?
Look at this chick.
Smile for me.
Smile. Let's see if you got some fur up in that grill.
Smile with your
Oh,
Go like
my
this.
goodness.
Did you eat that cat?
Oh, my Lord.
Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with it.
Did you see her eating it?
Eating it.
She was eating it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You call the Humane Society, see if they'll come pick this cat up. It's deceased.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, listen. I'm guessing. All right, I'm guessing, and from what I've heard, all right. So more than likely, this is a woman. Obviously, she's got to be hopped up on something. But I also believe, and I could be wrong, but I do believe that she's a Haitian woman. All right, listen. What people are experiencing in Haiti is something like we'd never want to experience here. And out of desperation, they might eat anything they could get their hands on. We have to consider ourselves blessed that at least for now we can go to a grocery store and buy foods that'll kill us. All these prepackaged foods that are probably no good for us, but at least we don't have to go through that madness. But anyway, just totally disgusting. But this is what happens when you bring people into the United States that are unassimilated. This is just crazy. You're eating pets, not even a stray cat. You're eating someone's pet. We have more of this to look forward to. All right, now here's an emotional. This was totally staged. You guys may not know this, but Kamala Harris over the weekend had some in Pittsburgh. Some of her encounters are now being exposed as being totally staged. And there's no surprise whatsoever, but a lot of people have been posting about it on X. Also, she went to over the weekend to this, I forget what it's called, Pinsy's or something like that, some spice shop. I mean, a total intolerant, hateful, bigoted spice shop. They sell spices and with a little bit of hate on the side for their fellow Americans. I mean, just insane climate nuts, trans stuff. I mean, just all kinds of just nasty language associated with people that would come in their doors and shop. And honestly, I need to find the name of the shop, because if you have one locally or if you order from them, maybe now is the time to stop doing so. My buddy Rich Blooney, let me find. He texted me about this the other day, and then I saw the video, and so I want to make sure that I give him both props, but also, if I can find it here, he named the company, and I want to make sure that I get this right, because I hadn't heard about them until the weekend. What is the name of this company? Pinsy's Spices, Penzeys, and their spices. So apparently we have one locally here. I'm in the Central Florida area. So, we'll call and make some noise, or write and make some noise about Pinsy's, because we shouldn't be, Americans shouldn't be discriminating against Americans. And it's actually really disgusting to me that Kamala Harris, you can shop there all you want, but if you're going to go there on the campaign trail, you mean to tell me that your campaign didn't vet that Pinsy's are total bigots when it comes to your fellow Americans? This lady is just straight up amateur hour, if I'm being honest. And if she wins, God help us all. Video clip number 3, though, Gabe. Let's roll this. Let's see this staged encounter with the Kamala Harris supporter. And what does that tell you? That she has to have staged encounters. Unbelievable. Let's roll it. Video clip number 3. Por favor, Gabe.
Understand. I'm pretty sure you know.
Oh, it's gonna be good. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We are all in this together.
Yes, we are.
We're gonna be fine.
We are.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Thank you so much.
Huh?
Thank you so
Did you get some spices?
I didn't either.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. We're standing strong. Right?
I gotta grab something. This is not conducive for podcasting camera, but keep watching the video. I've got to duck down and grab something.
It's a new friend. I'm a lawyer in Pittsburgh here, and I just admire your work so much.
Good. What kind of law you practice?
Consumer protection.
Good for you.
I'm protecting consumers.
Good for you. That's the work I did as AG. That's good stuff.
Yes.
That's really good. Of course. Come on. Let's do it. Come on.
Oh my God, I'm shaking. Someone take it. I did not get it. Can someone take it for me, please?
Who are the yellow jackets? Come here.
They're my school.
They're your school? What school is that?
Freeport.
Freeport? What's your name?
Charlotte.
Nice to meet you, Charlotte. I'm Kamala. Are you cooking also? What are you doing here? Or did you bring an adult with you? Or are you just hanging out?
How are you? Can I have a hug?
Yes, come here. Of course. Aww. How's school going? Has it started?
Great.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
It's going well?
Yeah.
What's your teacher's name?
My homeroom teacher is Mr. Gaylott.
Mr. Gaylott? Okay, will you deliver a message to your teacher? And you're going to have to say the vice president asked me to deliver this message. Okay, here's the message. Thank you for being a teacher. Will you do that for me? Okay, high five. There we go. Ah, you're a good cheerleader already. Come on. Yes, come on. Here. This way. Got it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You keep doing your work. You're doing really good. That's good work.
Charlotte, right here. Can I get a picture?
Yes, sweetheart. Come on. Here's the picture. Got it. Parents in there. Come on, parents.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
They just look like liberals, don't they? You can spot them. Isn't it crazy? You can spot them. I guess you can spot conservatives too. Typically males that look like they have more testosterone. Ladies that don't have their nose, all snooty up in the air.
That's great.
Come on, let's take a family picture. Come.
Wow. I hate. Okay. All right. So some of you guys are going to get mad at me. I hate to admit it. She's gotten better. Even though that was staged, she almost seemed fake authentic, if that makes any, you know what I mean? Like she's fake, she's fake, right? We all know that, but at the same token, she's gotten a little smoother with the fakeness. Whereas before it was just totally cringeworthy. Right there, it was like, okay, that's stage, but she seemed like it wasn't like the kids. Look at the star, you know what I mean, or whatever she was saying back. I mean, just weird and cringy. For her, this is the stuff that she needs. She isn't running on substance, guys. She's never going to run on substance. Let me, as a matter of fact, I mean, just understand, life isn't going to get better. Food prices are high, gas prices are high. The world is on absolute fire as far as foreign policy, and we're trying our best to avoid World War III because of the Biden-Harris administration. You have the Afghanistan debacle, which there's been reports as of today. The reporting has come out today where, you have Congress that are getting new details about the collapse of that whole withdrawal and that surrender, if you will. I mean, just totally insane, totally nuts. This woman is a complete and utter disaster, and she will always be a complete and utter disaster. But her game is getting better. I'm going to come back and I want to play a couple videos later, but I want to make sure that I get on to the podcast. I didn't necessarily intend for it to be this long, but I felt like I wanted to show all of you guys these videos. I want to just go through a couple of things really quickly here. There were a couple of articles both listed at the Federalist. One was talking about what Kamala Harris is going to aim to do. Her strategy, Sean Fleetwood writes for the Federalist, is her strategy is making voters forget that she's the vice president. And you notice this is the campaign that she's been running. Joe Biden has been out on the campaign trail with her a couple of times, but to the best of their ability, they're trying to keep him off to the side. I mean, you can ask the question, where's Joe Biden? It almost feels like, where's Waldo? And all of that is intentional. I really don't know who's running the country. I presume that it's Kamala Harris and the deep state, if you will. The machine is running. She's like on, if she has to make a decision, she'll make a decision. I don't really believe that it's Joe Biden that's capable of making decisions at this point. So for all intents and purposes, the suffering that you're experiencing right now, I think for the most part, you can blame Kamala Harris and the Biden-Harris administration. But again, this is a lady that wants you to forget that she's the vice president. All of these people that are sitting there and that set up at Pinsy's Spice Shop are all part of the fakeness, if you will, all part of the, yes, we got to move on to something better, something that's not divisive. And when they say they don't want to be divisive, what they mean is, you guys better all think like us. You better think like all of us liberals that are up here in these Pinsies, and far left liberals, if you're shopping at Pinsies, apparently, and if you're voting for Kamala Harris. So she wants you to believe that gas prices and food prices and all this stuff, the wide open southern border, as Sean Fleetwood writes, the disastrous foreign policy that I've already mentioned, the skyrocketing mortgage rates underneath the Biden-Harris administration, that's not her doing. Somehow that was all Trump. Even though Trump hasn't been in office for nearly 4 years, that's all Trump's doing. That's what she wants you to believe. That's what she wants you to believe. And so what she intends to do, there was another article that was up at the Federalist, and I won't get into great detail and specificity because I want to bring you some more news. And then I want to remind you shortly in just who liberals said she was just a few short months ago. But there was another article. Where is it? Where was it? Is it anywhere near my formerly fingerprinted fingertips? Did you steal it, Gabe? Okay, here it is. All right. Kamala's debate strategy is talking about January 6th, 2020, Trump being a convicted felon, and Eddie Scary of the Federalist writes that's all she's got. And guys, we already know that. That is all she has. But I do think that we cannot take it for granted. I don't think that we should take, or Trump should take her lightly. Obviously, I think here's where Trump is going to be able to win the debate, in my opinion. I think Trump should constantly remind people that Kamala Harris has been in office for nearly 4 years, and tie her to all of the bad policies, all of the things that you're experiencing. All right, whether high gas prices, high food prices, the cost of energy, all of these things, you're going to constantly tie it to Kamala Harris. She's going to attack Trump. I think one thing she's going to say often, I think she's going to call him a liar as much as possible. I think that's what she's going to do. She's going to call him a liar. She's going to call him a convicted felon. I think she will be dirty and nasty enough to call him a sexual abuser or assaulter, something of that nature. Speaking of that one chick who, with that fake case, they never even met. But anyway, they hate Trump so much in New York that we're willing to go along with the lie and reward her. Oh, and by the way, you guys heard the news that Judge Juan Merchan has decided to delay the New York case until after the election. He didn't want to give the appearance of election interference. Like, give me a freaking break. When there's news that his daughter is out, that's in the news today, that his daughter is working for the Kamala Harris campaign. Give me a break. I mean, just fakes. But you're going to hear Kamala Harris talk about the rule of law. You're going to hear her talk about January 6th. So these are the things that Trump has got to be ready for. She's going to talk about the elections in 2020, and Trump trying to steal the election. She's going to say this stuff, as you've heard by plenty of people, to try to get underneath the skin of Donald Trump. And he can't take the bait. He's going to have to find ways to be able to react to those particular things. And when it comes to the election, Democrats were election deniers. We live in a free country. We live in a free society where you're allowed to where you're allowed to question as long as there's no violence, there's the video, all that kind of stuff. But I think it's in Trump's best interest to, as best as he can, just take the issue back to the issue. She's going to try to get him distracted because she doesn't have any good policy ideas. And I'll go over some of the policies. She has none. So it'll be January 6th. It'll be the 2020 election. It'll be Trump is a convicted felon and all of his legal jeopardy. It'll be Trump is a liar. It'll be that Trump is a misogynist and again, somebody that sexually assaulted a woman and all this kind of stuff, which again, he completely denies. There's no evidence whatsoever. So that's what it'll be. And he's got to be prepared for that. And then I suspect the word liar is going to come up a lot. I think she'll be bold enough to say it. Meanwhile, here's what I want to show you. And Gabe made a great point. First off, when I went on to Kamala Harris's campaign, because she released some more updated information, more specifics, if you will, which you'll see in just a second, are no specifics at all on her campaign website. But what she was doing, when you have to literally click, before you get to anything that's still not substance, but vagary, and her talking about some vagary that's related to policy, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But Gabe made the point. Basically, you click onto the website and all it's doing, it's asking for donations, saying you have 23 hours, 18 minutes, 4 seconds at this point to donate before the debate. And Gabe makes a great argument, and that is because she wants to get as much money in as before her campaign collapses completely. And I hope to God that is the case. But for those of you that are wondering about specifics of the Kamala Harris campaign, can we go through them real quick? Shall we? All right. So before we do that, let's go through them. But let me just take a minute to remind you again of my friends at Priority Gold. Economists are warning that massive tax hikes could devastate your IRA and your 401k account as the stock market braces for impact. With inflation on the rise and global uncertainty looming, it's clear why central banks and savvy Americans are turning to gold. In times like this, Proverbs 21:20 reminds us to preserve what we built. Right now, that wisdom points us towards gold. So if you haven't had your eye on gold, it's time to make it a priority. My name is Carl Jackson, and I'm urging you to call my friends at Priority Gold to find out how they can help you diversify your savings with physical gold and silver. Call 1-800-405-GOLD or visit PriorityGold.com/golden for a free gold info guide. Plus, see if you qualify for free shipping and storage. Act now to get your portfolio working for you while the market is golden. Again, call 1-800-405-GOLD to speak with a gold specialist or visit prioritygold.com/golden to learn more. That's 1-800-405-GOLD. All right, so I guess, you know what? This should have been a podcast in and of itself. Gabe, maybe, anyway, I should have done that. A podcast in and of itself. I'm sorry, Gabe. But this is Kamala Harris's A New Way Forward. A New Way Forward, all right? This is unbelievable. All right, so it says VP Harris and Governor Walz are fighting for a new way forward that protects our fundamental freedoms, okay? Strengthens our democracy, ensures every person has the opportunity to not just get by, but to get ahead. As a prosecutor at AG, senator, and now vice president of the United States, Kamala Harris always stood up for the people against predators, scammers, and powerful interests. She promises to be a president for all Americans, a president who unites us around our highest aspirations, and a president who always fights for the American people, from the courthouse to the White House. That has been her life's work. That's her debate strategy. That's her debate strategy. I'm reading that. Every attack that she's gonna lay at the feet of Donald Trump lies in that first paragraph, A New Way Forward, on her campaign page. Again, she wants to go a new way forward. A new way forward. What the heck are you talking about? This chick has been there for 4 freaking years talking about a new way forward. The first idea she came out with, they had to say STFU. You guys, some of you guys know what that stands for. I'm not going to say it. This is a Christian podcast. All right. Get your mind out of the gutter there. But anyway, this is just totally insane. This is totally insane. This lady really does want you to believe that she had nothing to do with the policies that have destroyed your pocketbook, that has destroyed the housing market, that has destroyed some of our our relationships with allies, and have emboldened our adversaries like Russia, Iran, and China. I mean, this is amazing to me. This is the lady that said she was the last person in the room with Joe Biden to make that decision on Afghanistan, that surrender. And she's proud of that. A new way forward. Again, her first idea, her first economic proposal, price controls. Then build an opportunity economy and lower costs for families. What the heck does that mean? She doesn't know. VP Harris grew up in a middle-class home. As a daughter of a working mom, she believes that when the middle class is strong, America is strong. That's why, as president, Kamala Harris will create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to compete and a chance to succeed, whether they live in a rural area, small town, or a big city. How will she do that? And by the way, it is a total fraud that she grew up in a middle-class home. Guys, check out my X account at Carl Jackson Show, wherever I am on social media. I believe I posted it on Facebook as well. But I want you to look at the pictures of where she grew up. The pictures in Montreal. Now, she was in Berkeley, California. I suspect the neighborhood was just as nice. You look at those pictures where she grew up in Montreal, her mother that was moving around as a professor with a PhD, her father, the same thing, winding up at Stanford University. All right. An Ivy League school. You really think she was poor? I guarantee you, when you see the pictures of the neighborhood that she grew up in Montreal, it's like, dang, when I die, can I get that type of real estate? Because that's like heaven. I mean, it's insane. This lady is a complete and utter fraud. Harris has made clear that the building up the middle class will be a defining goal. How can you build the middle class when the lifeblood of the middle class is energy? It is. When you buy into this global warming nonsense and this EV and climate change stuff, it's amazing to me that the people that get punished are the people that are in the middle. And truthfully, that's what the left wants to do. They want to destroy the middle class. They prefer a society of poor people and rich people. When you have the middle class, what you have is a class of citizens, and I hate to even call it the middle class, but for the sake of argument, I will, simply because in America, what we used to have are Americans. Some were poor, some were not so poor, in the middle class. Okay, some were wealthier, but you didn't have to stay at those stations. These people are making it where you have to stay at those stations. You have young people that can't afford to buy homes, and she wants to make it an opportunity economy where she'll give people, $25,000 for first time home buyers that'll automatically inflate the prices of home $25,000 and cause a run on homes. So the price will go up even higher. I mean, this lady does not know anything. She wants to cut taxes for middle class families. Why not cut taxes for everybody all across the board? It's going to help everyone. Make rent more affordable and home ownership more affordable. Why would the federal government do? You mean Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, the ones that gave us the housing crisis of 2008, that burst under George W. Bush? Grow small businesses and invest in entrepreneurs. How is she going to grow small business? Why is she concerned about growing small business? Here's an idea for growing small business. Don't have any COVID lockdowns. That would really help. Take on bad actors and bring down costs. What does that even mean? Strengthen and bring down the cost of health care. You mean like Obamacare did? Unbelievable. Protect and strengthen Social Security and Medicare. I'd really like to do that. I know how you'll do that when you're spending money up the wazoo. As president, she'll fight to cut the taxes for more than 100 million working and middle class Americans while lowering the cost of everyday needs like healthcare, housing, and groceries. This is impossible. She will bring together organized labor and workers, small business owners, entrepreneurs, and American companies to create good paying jobs, grow the economy, ensure that Americans continue to lead the world. Guys, I was going to have a guest on today. Unfortunately, she got sick. I'll bring her back on later on in the week. But those price controls, I'll talk to you about how the USDA is already implementing plans to do just that and working on some things that are doing that with our farmers. Another thing, she says she wants to safeguard our fundamental freedoms. So Harris's fight for our future is also a fight for freedom. In this election, many fundamental freedoms are at stake. The freedom to make your own decisions about your own body without government interference. Now, it's not government interference when Democrats tell me that I should pay for you to kill your baby. That's not government interference. These people are just amazing. The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. What business of yours is that? I mean, it's just crazy. And the freedom that unlocks all the others, the freedom to vote, ensure safety and justice for all. As a prosecutor, DA, and Attorney General, Kamala Harris has fought to ensure everyone has the right to safety, to dignity, and to justice. Is that why you supported Proposition 47 in California that ensures that there's going to be a lot more victims getting their heads beat in, or, clothing stores, or, retail stores, small businesses, small mom and pop shops that are getting robbed because people know that they can go in and steal $950 worth of stuff without any consequences whatsoever, which means they can steal even more because nobody's going to stop them because they know cops aren't coming. They know the cops aren't going to be called because people are just going to look and say, I don't know how much, I can't see if they have $950 worth. So who's going to call the cops? It's a waste of time. This lady has helped to destroy California, but she wants to ensure safety and justice for all when she doesn't even know. This is how to do it in California. This is a California radical. And Trump needs to paint her as that. She wants to keep America safe, secure, and prosperous. So she will never waver in defense of America's security and ideals. There's an open border. Borders are. As VP, she has confronted threats to our security, negotiated with foreign leaders. Who? Strengthen our allies, our alliances. You mean like Israel? And engage with our brave troops overseas. As Commander-in-Chief, she will ensure that the U.S. military remains the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world, that we unleash the power of American innovation and win the competition for the 21st century, and that we strengthen, not abdicate, our global leadership. And VP Harris will fulfill our sacred obligation to care for our troops and their families, and will always honor their service and their sacrifice. So that's why you didn't show up to Arlington National Cemetery after you and Biden, your policies got our 13 servicemen and women killed in Afghanistan. You didn't bother to show up and then try to politicize Trump showing up when the families helped them to be there. This lady is complete and utter fraud. She's an utter disaster. Just real quick, let me get into this polling stuff and then we'll close it out. Just a reminder to please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast: Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and Rumble. I wanted to play the video of Tyreek Hill. I think I'll wait for that. I wanted to give a take on that, but I'll wait. It'll still be there. I'm sure the situation isn't going anywhere, but I found that fascinating. But just for the sake on staying on task with Kamala Harris, as I just kind of tell you what's going on out there, what to expect in the debates, what the polls are saying. But just real quickly, I want to show you how Politico is a left wing rag. All right, let's be honest. But Harris's momentum has stalled, but not reversed. So it's stalled, but it's not reversed. Here's 5 takeaways from the latest polls. These people have a way with words. So it's stalled, but it's not reversed. So if her momentum has stalled, by definition, it's reversed, because you're not staying in the same place in politics. That means the other side is gaining. So that means you're losing ground. But that's Politico. That's how they roll, and we should expect nothing less. So let's start with number 1, 5 takeaways from the latest polls. Again, this is Politico. Kamala Harris's favorable rating on June 27th, her favorable rating was 39%. That was a Real Clear Politics average. On August 14th, 45%, now 48%. So her favorables have raised. And again, we saw that fake video at that Penzeys Spice Shop. And by the way, don't shop at Penzeys anymore. They're total bigots when it comes to half of the American family. All right, so 48%. So her favorables have gone up. This is a lady that's trying to bring joy to the United States of America, despite the fact that she and Biden have brought misery for 3.5 years. But it says here, Americans have rediscovered Harris after she ascended to the top of the ticket, but that rush of energy appears to have hit its limit for now. No, we didn't rediscover Kamala Harris. You guys have been lying. You guys rigged the nomination. I shouldn't say that they rigged it, but basically the party bosses, Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, donors, George Clooney, all of these outside, people kind of rigged the nomination for Kamala Harris, helped her to get it. Biden as well. Eventually, he saw that the ship was going down, and he decided they didn't want Kamala Harris. Nancy Pelosi didn't, and Barack Obama. Neither one of them believed that they were ready she was ready for prime time, and they're right, by the way. But Biden wanted her to remain, so he endorsed her, and I think that was kind of a middle finger to Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi. But on average, about as many voters have a favorable opinion of Harris as view her unfavorably. Far from overwhelming popularity, but not too bad for a political figure in these polarized times. All right, guys, they were expecting for her to be kicking Trump's butt. This lady has not shown her face. She's given one. It wasn't even an interview, that edited interview with Dana Bash. She had sat there for over 40 minutes. We only saw 16 or so minutes of it. Absolutely insane, and that didn't count. And she was vague, just like her website is vague. She said, it says here, it was notable that the New York Times Siena college poll, which broke today, showed both with near identical favorable, unfavorable ratings, 46% favorable and 51% unfavorable for Harris, 46% favorable, 52% unfavorable for Trump. If I'm on the left, with all that they've done to try to destroy Donald Trump, from the fake investigations, the fake cases, the raided Mar-a-Lago, all of this negative media thrown at him. He's basically in the same position. It's a neck and neck race, which means Trump is gaining. That's what it means. I don't know if it means he's going to win, but looking at these polls, and Politico doesn't want to say it out loud to their people, it means that Trump is gaining an advantage. I'll say that. There's more risk and upside too for Harris in Tuesday's debate. 90% of voters in the poll said they pretty much know everything they need to know about Trump. Trump is a known quantity, where 71% said they know everything they need to know about Harris. That means her numbers could tick up or down depending on her performance, while Trump's are less likely to budge. All right, so this is the spin, and I get it. All right, Harris has a lot more to lose at the debate than Trump does, because Trump is a known quantity, and eventually Trump is going to keep going out on the trail. He's going to keep campaigning. He's going to keep reminding people of what he did while he was in office. Kamala Harris won't be, well, she'll try not to remind people, while Trump tries to remind people. But the way I heard Jessica Turlive of the 5 spin it is, there's more upside for Kamala Harris. She may well lose, but there's more upside because there's still a lot of people that are undecided about her. And I'm like, I don't know that that's a good thing. 60 days out, because now you're counting on, like she counted on that one interview. Now you're counting on like one debate. Is she's got to perform almost, I take that back. I was going to say theoretically she would have to perform perfectly in that debate, but no, she just has to do well enough. So Trump is going to have to be a decent man. Trump just has to be decent, and he has to be knowledgeable on policies, which we know he will be. Talking complete sentences, sometimes he doesn't finish his sentences. I don't know about you, but that annoys the crap out of me. And I think that he can, win the night. Okay, the next thing, third party vote share. The 2024 election once threatened to approach record levels of third party voting, but that has fallen off a cliff following the Democratic candidate switch of Robert F. Kennedy's campaign. So July of 21, Kamala Harris stood at 12.2% points, for third party share. As of August 14th, 7.1 points. All right. So her numbers are steadily declining. Now, 3 points without RFK Jr. in it. That's not good. Now, I don't know how you spin that. Now it says, now some polls like the New York Times, Siena College don't even include Kennedy as an option for respondents. Kennedy ended his campaign and endorsed Trump, but he'll remain on the ballot in some states. He's off in Michigan and North Carolina, hopefully more, but he won those lawsuits, including potentially a couple battlegrounds. Of the 10 polls that currently comprise the Real Clear Politics average, only 3 included Kennedy. All right, so you don't need all of Kennedy's voters. You just need enough in the battleground states. Between increased satisfaction with the major party candidates and lesser known options without the same level of ID as the scion of a famous political family, polls show sharply lower interest in third party candidates. Yeah, but Kennedy was the only reason why Kennedy didn't perform as well, because the Democrats did everything they could to destroy him. All right, voter enthusiasm. Yeah, I think this is the fourth one. No. Is that only the third one? Voter enthusiasm. Democrats who are very enthusiastic, 72% say they are enthusiastic for Kamala Harris. For Republicans who are very enthusiastic, 69%. That's pretty close. So it says here, just as in the state polls last month, Democrats have caught Republicans on the enthusiasm gap after lagging badly behind when Biden was their candidate. All right, now the two parties are neck and neck on enthusiasm, as are the two candidates. Equal shares of Harris, 63%. 63% of voters describe themselves as very enthusiastic about voting in the November election, in the poll from the Times. And again, even though this is better than Biden, Kamala Harris is doing better as far as enthusiasm is concerned with Biden. All that means is that people that didn't want to vote for Biden, that might sit it out, might not sit it out. But honestly, I'm not convinced that the enthusiasm will remain that high if she has a bad night tomorrow. Who is the best able to handle the economy? In July, Trump 52%, Harris 40%. Now is Trump 51%, Harris 43%. That's why this debate is so crucial. That's going to be a very important question. Trump should be able to smash that. He's got to tie her to this Biden-Harris economy. All right. If he doesn't, that'll be a big mistake on his part. Direction of the country. This is a huge one. On June 27th, 25% said the country was in the right direction. 65% said it was on the wrong track. As of August 14th, 65% still say that it's on the wrong track. 25% still say that it's in the right direction. Now 27% say right direction. Okay, I'm sorry. So now 27% say the country is going in the right direction. 63% it says it's on the wrong track. So those are still horrible numbers, and Trump needs to capitalize on that. So basically, here's what I've shown you. I've shown you the polls, at least from the left side political polling. But listen, I think for the most part, it's telling us a story. They're trying to spin it the best that they can, but it shows us that this race is going to be close, or at least this race is close. But right now, what we're seeing is Trump starting to level all of the what's the media buzz. All of that stuff is waning for Kamala Harris, and I think the race is on after this debate tomorrow. Guys, listen, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of the Carl Jackson Show podcast. Again, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast. Check us out on all things social media at The Carl Jackson Show. Also, don't forget the t-shirts, Carl Jackson Show. What is it? CarlJacksonMerch.itemorder.com. Sorry. Carl Jackson Merch. It's in the description. Thank you, Gabe. All right. So Carl Jackson Merch at itemorder.com. Until next time, don't grow weary, doing good. God bless you guys.